Wow, it's super bright, so actually I can't see you very well at all. Does everybody speak English? Anyone not? Thank you very much. And we are a telephony integration partner of Salesforce, so I won't say if you're not using Salesforce, leave the room now, but if you're using Salesforce, actually that'd be quite a nice thing to understand. Can you raise your hands if you either use Salesforce? Okay, pretty much everybody. Great news. Let me, I'll flip straight to that one. So, first of all, how on earth do you say our name? It's not Vonage, and we're not French. Actually, Vonage is an American company, but we were a company called New Voice Media. We're going back to 2009. New Voice Media was, and still is, in fact, a cloud-based, so only a cloud-based contact center solutions provider. And in 2009, we had, you still hear me? Yep. 2009, we had this idea to integrate our solution with Salesforce. We did that. We got some investment from Salesforce. We started getting customers on Salesforce. And we created something that became OpenCTI. So many of you might be doing customer service with Salesforce, telephony integration into your contact center, using lots of different vendors. And a lot of them today are still using OpenCTI, which is a technology that my team actually invented in 2009. We gave it away to Salesforce, and it's 15 years old. So first point. Second point, Salesforce produced something called Service Cloud Voice around 3 or 4 years ago. And if you're Salesforce customers already, no doubt you've had demos and presentations, but it's a big thing at Salesforce. And by then we were acquired by an American company called Vonage. We decided to go all in with Service Cloud Voice. So we don't really support OpenCTI anymore, although we have around 700 customers worldwide still on what is now a very old solution called OpenCTI. So in the last 3 years, you can probably read the slide already, we've acquired 125 customers worldwide on this technology, which you're going to see a demo of, called Service Cloud Voice. So what's different about the Vonage solution, and by the way, it might say we're part of Ericsson, so we're no longer an American company. Are there any Americans in the audience? Good, okay. I'm very happy to be European again, and please don't start me on that subject. So we are part of Ericsson. What's different about our solution then, perhaps compared with what you might see from Salesforce, which is they have their own solution they can sell called Amazon Connect. And frankly, if Amazon Connect works for you, it's a great solution. But there are many customers of Salesforce, and many in Germany, and I'll talk about some of them, for whom Amazon Connect isn't a great fit because they need, I'm going to ask for another show of hands, a lot of our customers in Germany need Microsoft Teams integration. Raise your hand if you're using Microsoft Teams. Wow. Should take photographs of this. So a little while ago, a couple of years ago, we developed and completed our integration with Microsoft Teams. I'm going to talk about Endress & Hauser, their project, in a moment. But Endress & Hauser, big Microsoft Teams company, required Microsoft Teams integration. Something else that we do is we use, and don't worry about the word Google, but we use Google for transcription. So a key part of Service Cloud Voice is, as the call comes in through Vonage, presented to an agent in front of Service Cloud, you get a transcription in real time. And this transcription, it needs to be in your language, and everybody does German, but we do 125 languages worldwide using Google. I'll put to bed the GDPR right now. We pay Google a lot of money to make sure they don't keep, train, and retain your customer data. That wouldn't be allowed in Europe, so they don't. So 125 languages, very important for this project I'm going to talk about at Endress & Hauser, because for them, they're in 55 countries in the world. Another customer we have, IFM, 45 countries in the world. So for them, having a lot of transcription languages is very important. And finally, I think that the other thing that's different is when you see demos of this kind of technology, I think there's a presumption that everyone's going to be fine with the phone being the browser. Maybe you've seen demos. It's a protocol from Google called WebRTC, Web Real-Time Communications. And it means that your agents and your users have got to be using that technology. And it works in Edge. So Edge is a Chromium, sounds funny, based browser these days. So it works in Edge if you're Microsoft users or Firefox and so on. Everybody does that. But a lot of our customers say, yeah, but some of our team want to use their mobile phone. Can we deliver calls to their mobile? Some of them will say we have a Mitel PBX or a Panasonic system, or we have an old Cisco system. Can we keep using those phones? So it's another point of differentiation, that's all, that if you've got a business where your users want to work from home on their home phones or mobile, or you want SIP trunking, which is another feature of these very large engagements that we do rather a lot of. I'm sorry if it's super technical, but some of our customers say, we love our telcos, can we keep them and just deliver the calls over a SIP trunk? So we do those things. Finally, I just want to say that because we focus pretty much exclusively on Salesforce, of 800 customers in the world on Salesforce, 224 in continental Europe, or largely the EU. And last year, I need to check the number, so I'm looking down, 117 new projects completed last year for customers, all on Salesforce. So the Endress+Hauser project, well, I quite like asking for hands up. Who's heard of Endress+Hauser? No, about a third of you, that's pretty good, or a quarter of you. You may not have heard of Endress+Hauser, but I'm going to guarantee that all of you come into contact with products where Endress+Hauser have helped the manufacturer of those products. So Endress+Hauser is a business that makes sensors that measure and control the flow of liquids and gases. So put very simply, and they're worldwide. And you can see on the slide a lot of different types of sensor. Endress+Hauser is a lovely statistic I like here. I don't know why my next slide's blank. 5.3 billion people coming into contact with products that are made by Endress+Hauser or helped the manufacturer of. Who likes chocolate? Barry Callebaut, one of my customers in Belgium, the world's largest manufacturer of chocolate. And I'm pretty happy to say in Belgium, Endress+Hauser are very strong, and they're a supplier to Barry Callebaut, helping me eat the chocolate that I like. So I come into contact every day, pretty much. Anyone drink beer in Germany? So AB InBev, client of Vonage, the world's largest, unfortunately they're not German, they're Belgian too, but the world's largest manufacturer of beer. And for sure, there's a liquid that flows, and Endress+Hauser are going to be managing the measurement and the flow of liquids in the case of AB InBev. Now I understand. So what was this project about? Well, the CEO of Endress+Hauser and the management board had a serious conversation about a lack of understanding of their customers. And their customers are phoning them every day, emailing, web chat, and so on. And to say they don't have a clue would be a little of an overstatement, but they don't have a great idea about who calls, when they call, or emails, why, what are the themes. And they made a major decision to say, we need to understand what is going on. So some research was done, a project was launched. Rather nicely, for us as it happens, they decided to do a little RFI, but no big RFP. We don't mind doing RFPs, but no one's really a fan of a tick box exercise. Instead, they decided to do POCs with different vendors, which we love to do. And of course, I'm here talking to you because we executed a proof of concept at Endress+Hauser. Weil am Rhein, if I'm saying it right, is the location where their headquarters is, right in the south of Germany, near the border with Switzerland and France. And we spent, Lyndon, who's going to be up in a minute, we spent 2 days working on a POC with Endress+Hauser. So they decided to start with telephony, and hence Vonage is part of this rather large project. And they decided that everyone in the company that touches a customer, so 600 people in customer service and 3,200 people in sales, have a license from Vonage and Salesforce, Service Cloud Voice. to deploy a solution for telephony that means, and you'll see it in a minute now, every call is logged, recorded, transcribed, analyzed across the entire business. And there's some amazing things you can do. Can you imagine that every call is transcribed, every call is summarized? Get some cool Agentforce AI from Salesforce saying, of all the customer complaints we had in the USA in the month of August, what are the top 3 complaints? And of those top 3 complaints, how has that trended differently over the previous 3 months? This is information that they have never had, and I would say probably most of you in the audience just don't have today. And it's just stunning. So where are Endress & Hauser? Signed a contract in December last year, so nearly a year ago. And I think maybe a surprise for some of you, a project started in January in their first country to go live, which was France. And they were live towards the end of March. And then they went on to do the US, and now the remaining countries of the world will follow quite quickly. We're going to do a demo. We were planning to do a live demo. That's sadly actually not possible in using the technology that we have here. So there's a recording, but just to set the demo up for a few minutes, because I think if you're not doing cloud telephony, there's a lot of maybe misunderstandings or confusion, or simply how on earth does this technology actually work? And is it really as easy as people like me say it is? So Salesforce, for most of you, will sit in Amazon's data center in Frankfurt, and that's where our technology sits too. These 2 clouds, the blue and the black cloud, are connected with a managed package. Your Salesforce people, you maybe understand that. And it takes 5 minutes to install this managed package and around 2 hours to configure it. There is a 6-week project to train users and design call flows and do testing, of course. And in the case of Endress & Hauser, they deployed Microsoft Teams, SIP trunking, Service Cloud Voice, and Vonage in 6 weeks in the case of France, and around 10 weeks in the case of the USA. So relatively quick, perhaps. How does it work? Publish numbers for Endress & Hauser or your business in Germany or anywhere in the world. Your customer, Alex in this case, picks up the phone and calls in. The call simply comes because we port numbers or point, or use SIP trunking. The call arrives at Vonage. We get the phone number of the caller. Well, ask Salesforce through an API, what do we know about this customer? Maybe there's an open case. Maybe that was created yesterday through email to case. And maybe the agent, Emma, has been assigned by a Salesforce assignment rule to work on the case. Or maybe Alex rang an hour ago. He's in crisis for some reason. And Emma was the person who helped him out but didn't fully solve the problem. And an hour later, Alex calls up again. So we'll interrogate Salesforce very quickly, and maybe it says, yeah, Emma, the agent, answered the phone an hour ago. Well, why have a menu, by the way? I hate menus. Anyone like the press 1, press 2, press 1, and then it seems pointless because people just answer it and say, how can I help you? What was the point of that? We do that if a customer wants it, but why not just route the call to Emma? Maybe Emma's on another phone call. Route the call to a colleague, but pop the details of Alex, pop the transcription. But more importantly, I can't read a transcription while I'm picking up the phone, but I can read a 30-word summary. And as Emma, maybe not, I answer the phone and I go, hey, Alex, I know exactly why you're calling. This is amazing for customer experience. Emma doesn't need to take notes at all, and she gets a summary. So it's good for her because she can really focus and listen. Call's logged in Salesforce, and call is recorded in Germany. If you have a little thing that says, we'd love to record your call. If you're happy, press 1, and if you're not, press 2. So that's the essence of how the solution works. My part's done, and I'm handing over to my colleague, Lyndon, to do a demo.
So good afternoon, everybody. I'm Linda Marl. I work within our solution engineering team at Vonage. Quite often I'd be doing a live demo now, but we're going to use a demo that I actually recorded yesterday, so it was as live as possible. And I'm going to stop at points and explain what you're seeing. So this is hopefully clear and everyone can understand what's happening. So I know this is quite small text, so I'll just explain what you're going to see. So we have, first of all, a voice bot that's going to be answering a phone call, asking for a little bit of information. in order to route this call to the right person in the right team with all the right skills, in the correct language, and maybe even go as far as creating us a new ticket or a case within our Salesforce Service Cloud. The second part of the demo is going to be the call routed through to a real human agent who's responding to this call, but with all the case information and the information that's been collected by this voice bot. So they're really equipped to handle the call as quickly and effectively as they possibly can. And then towards the end of the call, we're going to see how, through the use of some real-time transcription in German, we can then assist the agent with any helpful knowledge articles or recommended next steps to handle this call, but also a summary of the call at the end. So without having to spend time writing notes, logging the outcome of the call, might take me 30 seconds or a minute or even a few minutes at the end of each call, we can use this transcription and summarization to save time, be more efficient, log 100% of calls with all the information we need. Okay, so we're going to start the video now.
Hallo Sophia, herzlich willkommen und vielen Dank für Ihren Anruf bei Vonage. Mein Name ist Vanessa, Ihr virtueller Assistent. Bitte teilen Sie mir mit, wie ich Ihnen behilflich sein kann.
Hallo Vanessa, ich habe ein Problem mit meiner Rechnung.
Bitte geben Sie mir nähere Informationen, damit ich Ihre Anfrage effektiver bearbeiten kann.
Auf meiner Rechnung sind Leistungen enthalten, die ich nicht benötige, deswegen will ich den Vertrag kündigen.
Vielen Dank. Ich verbinde Sie zu einem unserer Billing-Mitarbeiter.
Okay, so we'll pause the video there. So let me just explain this again for you. So we have a voice bot that has answered the phone call, has asked a very open question, I think. What is the reason for your call today? Our customer, Sophia, in this case, has said, well, I'm calling because I have this problem with my latest invoice. It's not showing the correct balance. I need some more information about this. Now, the voice bot has captured the information, has tried to handle this in the best way, and has actually, in the background, created us a brand new case with all of the information that we have so far. So this is the integration already starting within our Salesforce Service Cloud environment. What we're going to see next is the call now being routed through. Now, this is Salesforce Service Cloud. This is a service console. Vonage is tightly integrated within the omni-channel part of Salesforce. So when the call is presented, you'll see a small pop-up, and then our real human agent is going to answer the call, and you'll hear a short conversation. And I want you to also look at the right-hand side of this Salesforce console, because you'll also see the transcription happening. And then I'll pause again and we can discuss how we can use the transcription.
Hallo Sophia, ich habe deine File-Details schon vor mir. Kannst du mir vielleicht noch kurz erklären, was dein Problem ist, damit ich nachschauen kann?
Ja, hallo, gerne. Auf meiner Rechnung sind Leistungen enthalten, die ich nicht brauche. Und deswegen möchte ich meinen Vertrag auch kündigen.
Okay, ich schau mal nach.
Dankeschön.
Okay, so we'll stop again there for a second. So you heard the phone call. We had two real people yesterday recording this, so you hear it's a real phone call. You can see, and I hope you saw this happening in real time, the transcription on the right-hand side. And this is happening in different languages depending on our customer's preference. Maybe we've got a multilingual speaker, or we have someone calling a German number, so they're routed to a German agent and the conversation is transcribed in German. On the top right corner, you can see we are actually, in real time and dynamically, popping some recommendations, some next steps, some script, some FAQ, knowledge article, to help our agent give the best and most appropriate response. And this is your environment, so you tailor this to your own business needs, your different flows and business processes. But it's a useful and assistive tool that can help our agent. So we're going to continue on, but I want you to understand that there's a lot more that can be happening here. This is just a short demo. The call can be recorded if we've got consent to record the call. We can also use that to dig a little bit deeper into what's happening. So fully analyzing the full conversation, picking out the keywords and phrases and what type of call this is about. And then maybe there's some deep reporting and analytics that we can go and investigate later on. So maybe my manager wants to go in and understand, out of the 100 calls we've handled today, what are the trending topics, what are the key conversations that the team are having. So we'll carry on and move to the next part.
Sonst noch irgendwie behilflich sein?
Nein, vielen Dank. Es geht hauptsächlich um die Vertragskündigung.
Okay, ciao.
Ciao.
Okay, so we're going to just pause there quickly. You can see here what's happened is there is a Einstein wrap-up, which is using Salesforce Einstein call summarization. It's a Salesforce feature, but it's taking the transcription that Vonage has done there, and it's created, we think, a good summary of the conversation, a few sentences. Maybe it's also suggesting a disposition code or a call resolution code for our reports later on. And if I need to go in and change it or tweak it, I can do that, or just hit save and then move on to the next call. So this is how we can really take that Salesforce functionality to the next level there with the transcription and the suggestions there. So we're going to move on, and I'll show you how, as Paul said a few moments ago, if I'm someone else, maybe tomorrow or in a week's time, taking another call from Sophia, I can quickly look at the summary and say, Sophia, hi, we spoke to you last week. I understand you had a conversation about your billing inquiry. You also were perhaps considering closing or changing your subscription with us. So it's a really great start to a new conversation, and Sophia is happy because she feels I'm fully informed. So we'll move on now and we'll see a little bit more. You can see we've also got a transcription of the voice bot part as well there. And this is where you can see, depending on the page layout and whatever is most appropriate when we answer a call. Funnily enough, the last 4 or 5 conversations I think are a similar call because we did a few recordings, but these are maybe the last 4 or 5 conversations we've had. So just to finish this off, because it's only a short demo, I just wanted to show you a little bit of the reporting output. So this is just Salesforce service dashboards, so you can see all your key KPIs and targets that you have across the teams, the number of calls that are being transferred, what are the different outcomes of the calls, who are our key accounts, and what maybe is our cost to serve based on the amount of contact we have with our different customers. This is all just manipulation of the data that Vonage is automatically logging into Salesforce. This view here is actually based on the analytics, and using the transcription, we can pick out keywords and phrases, and we can use these to build analytical reports that show us what are the different behaviors that we're seeing, what are the different performance factors, how are our different agents using their training to say the right things, detect cross-sell and upsell opportunities, demonstrate product knowledge, and so on. And just to finish us off here, here's a view of the call recording and some analytics that Vonage is able to provide directly within the Salesforce Service Console. Here are some of those key categories. This example is my own in English, but this is also available in German, of course. And you can see there, if I want to do a coaching session or some training with my agents, I can dig in and find a few good or a few bad examples to help us with our quality management and coaching process. So that was the end of the demo. If anyone wants to see a little bit more, then feel free to come over to our stand this afternoon and we can show you something in a bit more detail. Just to let you know that we work closely with Salesforce. We are attending lots of their events. Now, Salesforce is running their own service summit in March. We'll likely or definitely be there. And you can learn a little bit more about this combined solution between Salesforce and Vonage. Scan the QR code if you want to get some more information about that.
Yeah, finished?
Yep. Okay.
So thank you. Yeah, let's hear it. Thank you very much. Wow, it was great. There is a question for you. Are you ready for it?
Okay.
Perfect.
We'll try.
If a customer presses 2, that recording is not allowed, will the transcript still be created?
No is the short answer.
No.
No. So we can log the consent or the denial of consent in Salesforce, so you've got a record, but transcription only occurs if you've got call recording happening anyway.
Okay. Thank you very much. Then let's have a big round of applause for Paul Turner and Lyndon Meyer. Thank you very much.